Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're at. And I'm here with another video about Bitcoin and other crypto. If you are new to the channel, I really would appreciate if you would like the video, subscribe to the channel and click the bell so you can be notified with new videos. Here, I'm mostly covering Bitcoin. Sometimes you'll get other things as well as sometimes seems like I'm venting as well, and I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not. So, I would also appreciate if you guys could like the video now, or at least at the end of the video when you watch through and you liked it, because that helps this information get to other people. And here's actually the deal. Earlier or later, we'll get to the bottom. And when I mean the bottom, somewhere between 8,000 and 20,000 on Bitcoin. And when we get there, we will recover and start pushing back up. And honestly, every person should make their own decision when to get out on when we're on their way down themselves. If they're willing to stick it out, then they stick it out. If they're willing to cut their losses and they take that money and then reinvest at the bottom, then that's what it is. But when they decide to actually cut their losses and get out, they should be confirmed and sure that we're actually on our way down at that point. It's not about because somebody said we're on our way, we are on, then we sell out and then we don't get back in when we on our way because somebody is still convinced we're supposed to drop further down. That is my personal opinion. So based on that, um, everybody should make those decisions on their own when they get out. All I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you there's a possibility, there's a probability. Here's a possibility of returning going back up or whatever, and you make the decision. I will be the voice of reason. I believe that's the right word, reason. I'm not even sure what exactly that word mean. And you will be, and you and your inner you. Some people call it gut feeling. Some people call it the Holy Spirit. Some people call it the Spirit. Some people call it the connection of the universe. Whatever, who's calling whatever it is, whatever you call it, it's up to you. The bottom line, that should be your confirmation, not your mind, not your panicking emotions. It should be you. It should be those things that I meant. Those are the things should be your second confirmation from what I'm saying. And if you get that confirmation, now you can make those decisions and do whatever you believe needs to be done. Because all I can do is I can direct you. Now you need to make the decision. Do you want to go there or you don't? So let's start with Bitcoin. Bitcoin has came down and has actually broke this area right here, or as I would like to call it, the last low, which uh, did touch as low as 45.2, somewhere in that area. Now we are kind of rebounding, and I believe we're probably going to continue. Now, as this trend right here continues, if we break 45, that will increase the possibility of us going down about 75%. Because I am taking that from this right here trend. If we take this trend right here and base here, we already broken that trend long time ago. So right now is breaking this trend right here. And if we break this trend up here right now, becomes a confirmation that we no longer holding in a up trend. We already at this point right now, we're either going sideways or we're going down. Now, some of you might actually ask a question at that point. Will we still go up to 50,000? If we start going sideways, it becoming less likely we'll be going trying to attempt breaking 50,000, even though some would say, yeah, we need to get back to, we need to get up to 49,000 to make this a valid drop. Um, Honestly, nothing has to happen. uh, Market is something that when it gets manipulated, anything can happen. If it would not be manipulated, then I would agree with them. Then I would say, yeah, we need to get up to certain plays, certain patterns we need to build, because because we need to see the conversion of the psychology of human traders onto a chart. But when it's being manipulated, we actually start seeing two things. We start seeing human behavior as well as manipulation. And when those two mix, sometimes nothing makes sense. So that is the reality. But very simple common sense says that if we break through this new trend here, uh, that means we are having a possibly going up. Then we're gonna have another trend from this point on to actually across, which I was actually mentioning and letting you guys know that if you break through 42,000, that's what I was saying. Yeah, 44,000. I was saying if you break 44,000, then pretty much we're gonna have another trend right here. When we break that 44,000, it's gonna become a 85, 90% reality. We're coming down at that when I would say, you know what, hey, um, strap in, because at that point we started a side trend when the or the downtrend at that point. And you know, if it's a side trend, there's a becomes a 50-50 chance we're going down. Uh, because we've broken this, which of course, you know, we can break this if we go into any other coin. We can see where coins came up, went sideways, and then continued up again. So there is a possibility, but but also very common where the reversal of the trend starts always. First, we start breaking a trend. So trend number one broken right there. We came back, we retested it. If we failed, trend number two, which we are coming down to it when we break it, and it's going to be somewhere in the area of 45,000 or so. When we break through it, we'll come back, we'll retest it, and we'll continue. So it's going to be trend number two broken. Trend number three will be at 44,000, which again, we break through it, we retest, and at that point, it's we will start our downtrend journey. Right now, we are just giving signs that there is a reversal. Now, the reversal has to confirm itself. First confirmation completed. Second confirmation will happen soon if we break through it. And then the third confirmation will be when we break this head shoulder situation. So, again, even though all this is ahead, but looking on a short term, this would be a head, this would be a shoulder. And when we break that, that becomes our third confirmation. We started um, a reversal or the downtrend direction. So if you guys look at the chart, literally everything is red. I can filter again by percentage. Sol is still slightly in positive since we reset 40 minutes ago. ESS still in positive, and that's it. This is the USD tether, and we are seeing increase in tether, which means people are converting dollar into tether. That's my understanding what this really means. Again, a lot of people have various different versions, but my understanding that's what it means when people start converting dollar into tether. Tether grows. So because the USD tether, so that's dollar against tether, so tether is growing. Um, that is the US dollar currency index, and it built this. I call it a goat face, which usually indication we will turn around, go up. Commonly known as well, when we go up here, Bitcoin comes down. Again, these are the observations, not always there for some reason as accurate. Uh, but that's it. Everything else is zeros, and as you guys can see, a lot of things has dropped just since reset of time, uh, over 1%, and some of the stuff has got as high as 5%. So definitely, if you're still in a long trade, um, man, you're having a lot of guts. That's all I can say, because some of those coins have already had a drop from their last high as much as 10-15%. And you're still in it? Jeez. I tell you one thing, you definitely love the market makers and you definitely love to share your food on the table with them. Hey, it's a joke, and I hope you guys get the joke. But hey, Steven, how's it going? One other thing I want to mention, guys, I did open a Discord server, whatever channel where you guys want to go. It should be in the description of this video. If it's not, comment me right under the video that it's not. Should be there. Join. Um, Inside in the Discord channel, there is a section. I don't remember what it's called. Let me look it up. What is coming? I I might actually rename it to what I cannot share on YouTube or prohibited by YouTube to be shared. Those things I will be sharing in that section. There's a general section. I might build more section down the road as we needed. Definitely, comment in general section if what you guys want me to add, and go from there. You'll find Twitter and some other stuff in the description. Also in the description, I included the playlist that you guys need to watch. Those are 3 mandatory playlists to watch if you want to raise your chance of success on crypto. So that's some of the information is there. Okay, where we go back to Bitcoin. Bitcoin is right there. Actually, Bitcoin has the least amount, one of the least amount of drops, only 0.73% since reset, and compared to everything else. But look how everything else responded. What I'm trying to say is a lot of these coins, a lot of people on these coins are ready to go down and they're ready to sell and they're selling already. The people in Bitcoin are still struggling. ESS is still people are still in ESS that don't believe we're coming down. Sol people don't believe we're coming down. But RAN people don't believe we're coming down, but pretty much everybody else is definitely, hey, we are we are ready and we're bailing the ship. And we are lacking a little bit of the volume. The volume is just, just on the moves, but we're not having enough volume as things move sideways. And that's an issue for going up and might be an issue to break through some support going down, but eventually we'll find areas where there is no support whatsoever, and we will be falling through. So be careful, especially if you still in long trades, because those trades might surprise you. Um, Now, do I believe we might from here still reverse go up? Um, there is a possibility because we are in a position where we can start a side trend, and that's pretty much what we would be doing is actually going up, down, testing 48, coming down, testing 48, coming down, testing 48, coming down, and that would be, focus of breaking through 48 and getting closer to 50,000. So that is still a possibility, and at this point, it's a 50-50 because all it has to do is starts bouncing. Now, like I said, if we break through this trend right here, it becomes less likely we'll be bouncing, and most likely we will be pushing down. So the title, 75% probability, that refers to this trend right here. Break this trend, find it as a resistance. Now we are forced to continue down. What actually would happen at that point, and I'm going to increase the 15-minute chart so you guys can actually understand. Come on. So what happened at this point is if we break this trend, which at that point the trend by the 19th would be somewhere right here, we would actually break it, and there's a possibility we'll start building a shoulder towards the trend and calm down. That's a possibility as well. It's not something that's for sure to happen. A lot of times when we do break this trend and we come back and retest, so let's say we would break this trend right here. We would come down, we would retest it. And when, like we just tested right there, we broke down, we retested it, when we retested it and we fail, at that point, we would get another push down. So because right now we kind of churning this the other direction, and that would be about push right there. We come back, we retest, we push again, and we start now going this direction. Since we had a lot of these bumps, as I said in a couple of previous videos, this side is a huge possibility. We might do a couple of these and then boom. And that point, hope for that somebody will catch us. It's like jumping out of the fourth floor window and hoping that there's somebody on the third floor window, second floor window, there to catch us. Um, I bless every single one of you. Bless you guys with the wisdom, with success, with everything you guys need to survive what's coming. And also bless you guys financially. And we'll be back as I see more need. Probably when we come down to about 44,000, there probably would be most likely where I would like to actually come down. Because what is that I'm seeing? If we break through this trend, we'll come down to 44, bounce back, retest this trend, and then come down to 44 and try to break 44. Blessings to all, and definitely don't forget to like the video. If you're not subscribed, subscribe to the video. And one thing of it all, if you know anybody that trading crypto, um, okay, if they're trading stock market, they're trading gold or precious stones or anything else, there's not much I can help them with unless they want to listen to a guy like me about crypto and compare that to what they're trading. Even though if they're in 401k, I would recommend them to get out. If they have mutual funds, I would tell them to call their broker and tell them to put that in dollars at least, where they don't let it be traded. If they're in real estate, let them still hold real estate as long as it's a good, valuable real estate. They probably be okay, even though the real estate will drop and fall. Um, I'm not so big of a fan of gold, but again, if they're in gold and actually holding physical gold, not like us trading it on charts, um, they're probably okay. Okay, if they're trading on charts, they should liquidate that as well and consider doing something else. Now, everybody else who's in crypto, I do not mean they should be listening to my channel, but they should be listening to somebody at least that knows what they're talking about. I would love them to be on my channel, but I do not want to be saying that I am the only one on YouTube because, actually against my belief, let's put it this way. Um, that's just how I believe people need to have a chance and they need to have a chance of choice. So I cannot force anybody to say, hey, they must join my channel. I would love them to, but I cannot say that. But what I can say is if they're willing to take a chance and listen, one thing I can say is they need to be aware of possible crash. At this point, it's becoming more and more probable, no longer possible, probable. They need to be aware of that. They need to understand either they need to pick a good place where they're gonna exit, or they need to agree that they're gonna ride it out to the bottom, and I agree that price of that coin might turn into pennies, value of pennies instead of dollars, if they continue to write it down. And they also need to have some cash on a side when we do hit the bottom, so they can get in at the most sweetest prices possible. And when I'm saying sweetest prices, the prices on some of these coins will be so low that before you guys heard of these crashes, you guys would have never believed that those prices can actually even be possible. So yes, no matter what's said on YouTube, one thing, when we get to the bottom, I would love every person on this planet to have something put aside so that they can join those prices. Because those small prices they'll have, even if it's a $500, $1,000, those money can be multiplied between 5 to 25 times. Let me actually bring up a calculator and talk just as similarly. Uh, $500 multiplied 25 times. They can turn a $500 of simple $500 roughly into 25 into $12,000. Now, if they do that for 2,500 and 20 times 25, that's 62,000. In some of the cheap places in the country, they can find an older home for that much of money. Those of you that would to consider selling at least portion of your portfolio, and as we come in, when we confirm that we're truly coming down, and uh, then invest at the bottom, Most of you guys would consider having between five to $10,000. Let's start with five first. That is your possibility when we reach the top. Now, I did talk with someone, I'm not going to mention the name, last week, and we discussed with some people that actually got lucky and bought some of the coins very, very low when those coins were, they're cheap. And right now, they have between one and multiple millions. Before you start considering cashing that amount out, let me talk with you. Let me share with you some of the possible ideas what you can do. That's one. When you get there, uh, and then what else? When we get to when you have this money, so the possibility what you can do so you don't have to cash out, and two, if you still consider cashing out, how would be the most smartest way to cash out without losing 30 to 40% before taxes. A lot of people, oh, I'm gonna lose 40% to tax. I seen and in crypto, I seen people cashing out $1 million because they cashed it out at all market price. They had $1 million. When they sold it, they had less than $700,000. That's before taxes. Then on top they have to pay taxes. So they're walking away with less than half a mil when they had a mil. So yeah, I know it's not happening today, but I know a lot of you guys will be appreciative when we hit the bottom, and you guys will be stuck in these numbers. And I'm talking about some of you guys will have a half a mil, and some of you guys will have couple mil. And there has to be a special way, bits and pieces, by which you'll be cashing that out. Yeah, I'm not. I'm not saying at this point much because. Okay, so yeah, so when we get there, we'll cross that bridge. But now I would love to affect as much of people with that and bless them with explaining and understanding and actually showing them when we hit the bottom so they can get in and turn their money into something of value and something of huge. So definitely start sharing, my channel, start sharing what's about to come. If you will join my Discord channel, you'll find, like I said before, what is coming. I might rename it to what's not allowed to be posted on YouTube or something like that. There is a video there, something I've been talking for the last couple of months, and finally, somebody about a week ago posted it on one of the platforms, and definitely worth actually seeing that. So yeah, um, we will need to survive through a lot. Let's say it simple. They're interested in eliminating 80% of breathing humans on this beautiful globe. And let's see if we can become the 20% that survive. Or, or at most, if this even real reality is make it where their plan fail. Blessings to all, and we'll be speaking with you guys further on. Before I go out, let's look at this one more time. So we are getting rejected already from this line. This is our first attempt. Um, let's see how many more attempts are. As I mentioned, I believe I mentioned, but at least one of the reasons I started with you, we have this one amp here, and then we have another amp right there, which also can be visible right here. So we start building this amps on our way down as we continue going down. Steve, I appreciate you joining and listening and sticking it out to the end. And those of you that join at the end, go ahead and go back and watch it from the beginning. You will find some information there as well. Blessings to all.